You have to clink. So we don't have a official intro for this podcast.
You can get the rights to any music.
Well, I wanted to run a couple by you. Mice to meet you.
No, hard pass.
Cheese to meet you.
Worse.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, rats.
Was that it?
Yeah, I don't know.
We can workshop it.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, yeah, we don't have an official intro, but welcome to Redwall Well Read. So my name is Peter. I'm a librarian.
My name is Abby, and I am also a librarian.
And if you've followed our show before, you know that me and other Abby, friend Abby, record Choose Your Own Adventure books. And we love those so much. And we brought you on for other Choose Your Own Adventure books. Like we brought you on for Nabooti.
Yes, the Jewels of Nabooti.
Yeah, Jewels of Nabooti.
Mm-hmm.
And you love that.
Not problematic in the slightest.
Right. This seemed to be more of your speed, so thought we would cover these, right?
Yeah, because I grew up a nerd.
Not like now.
Exactly.
And you're wearing your Redwall shirt.
I am wearing my Redwall shirt. That was given to me by a family who I recommended them to read Redwall, and their kids got so into it that when I left that library, they gave me a shirt as a thank you gift.
I guess I didn't know that part. I didn't know it was a gift.
Yes. Yep. It was a gift and a little card that said thank you from the mom because I turned her kids onto the Redwall series when they came in during one of my first weeks working at that library. And When I left, they gave me a shirt with a little card that said how much it meant to them.
Wow. And so, yeah, you read these growing up.
Yes.
Like all of them?
Yes, I read all of them.
Okay.
And even into college, when he was still releasing them, when I was still in college, I would ask for them for Christmas.
Wow.
I said, I'm the nerd.
Mm-hmm. I didn't read these. Well, I didn't read in general, but I didn't read these when I was a kid.
And I don't even think you knew really about them.
Right. Well, I guess I always recommended them to kids, but I never really read them because I just knew that they were good, and I knew that they were at a high lexile, as we say in the biz. We call it the library biz.
Except librarians don't use lexile. That's teachers.
But sure. But yeah, I just knew it through recommendations, but I never actually sat down and read all of them. I thought this would be a good project to kind of remedy that.
Yes. Well, and it's a good balance between the two of us. Me, knowing canonically everything about Redwall, and you...
What do I bring to this?
You read it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I watched you read it, so yes.
Okay. I feel like this is a group project, and I mmade the drawings, and you did all the work.
To be fair, I had a 25-year head start, so...
Oh, that's fair. But you read a lot of fantasy to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I do not read any fantasy at all. The only fantasy I've read and really liked was Game of Thrones. And I was telling you before that... Well, you're smiling.
You just dove right in the deep end, didn't you?
No, because it's a good mix of action and character development, and it's not as heavy as other high fantasy.
Wow. You really don't read a whole lot of fantasy, do you?
Because there's world building, there's the families and all that, but it's not as highfalutin. You
can say it. It's not J.R.R. Tolkien.
Right. I mean, it's more approachable.
Yeah, I guess. I see what you're talking about in terms of if you start with something like a J.R.R. Tolkien, you just assume all fantasy involves at least 40 pages devoted to the landscape.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And yes, but Game of Thrones goes still very deep in the other direction.
Sure. But I guess my point was more that there are elements of that fantasy world building, but it kind of focuses more on character development and action, much like Game of Thrones. And also, much like Game of Thrones, characters will just get killed off, and you just got to deal with it. And
even the good guys sometimes die in Redwall, which is very surprising
for a kid's book.
Yes, and it was originally written as a children's book, which is very odd because the first one was written in 1986.
Yes.
If you look at the Redwall books, they're easily 300 plus pages, all of them. And in that time, you weren't finding anything longer than 150, 180 pages for kids because it was thought, kids can't. They don't want to sit and read all of that. They can't have the reading stamina to get through something like that. So there was a lot of people who were like, this is not going to be a success because kids don't want this.
Right.
And it was a wild runaway success because I'm sure there's a bunch of kids like me out there who are like, thank God, something that's longer than 150 pages and doesn't treat me like I'm an idiot just because I'm in 4th grade.
I was reading Goosebumps. And
no shade against R.L. Stein,
Uh-huh.
but there's something you can do in 300 pages that it's very hard to do at a kid's level in a shorter amount of time. So you get the world building, you get the character building.
And even though this is longer, it does go fairly fast.
Yeah.
When it picks up.
So yeah, the Redwall series has 21 books. Most of them were published when Brian Jacques was alive, and then the last one was published posthumously by his son.
Yes. So I guess let's just get into the plot of this one. Because I had some thoughts along the way. Starts with Matthias, and Matthias is our main character.
If you've never read Redwall, you don't understand that it is all animals.
Oh, yes. Okay, so yeah, it's all gonna be mice.
Yep, so the fantasy world is built around Redwall Abbey.
Yes.
And Redwall Abbey was built by and run by mice. So in this fantasy world, it's all woodland characters that are anthropomorphized, and the Abbey is proportionately sized to them, which is kind of fun to think about. Retconning had to be done with this one because there's things like horses that don't show up anymore.
Yeah, that's weird. We'll get into it, but yeah.
But otherwise, you have to think about listening to this. You're imagining mice and badgers and rats and all kinds of stuff like that as we're talking about these characters. And of course, the characters have stereotypical, their animal characteristics. So our badger is big and strong and
the
brave.
fox is sly.
And the fox is sly, exactly. The mice
the rats are evil.
Yeah, the rats are evil, but the mice are nice. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if it rhymes, it's true.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I guess let's just get into it. So it starts with our main character, Matthias.
Matthias the mouse.
And so yeah, Matthias the mouse is running through Redwall, and he is tripping over his sandals because they're too big for his old feet. And Matthias is a little bit flustered. And when I was reading this, I imagined that he had like human-sized sandals, like human-sized flip-flops, and he was kind of like walking around like he had like flippers on. That's it.
I thought there was more to that, but okay.
No, that's it.
Well, and he's like a juvenile mouse, so he was.
He's also an orphan.
He was orphaned, and then he was. Redwall Abbey is always open to everybody, so he came to their doorstep. They didn't bat an eyelash. Took him in. He's being trained to be a brother in the Abbey, essentially. He's essentially an acolyte. He reminds me of like a puppy. Just too much energy,
right?
Paws flying everywhere, and you're just like, I love you, but calm down.
But yeah, he has a lot to prove.
Yes,
that's puppy energy, I suppose, and nowhere to really put it. So he runs into Father Abbott. Does Father Abbott have an actual name?
Mortimer.
Okay, because they kept saying Father Abbott, and I thought like Abbott was his.
No, Abbott Mortimer.
Yes, makes sense. But they just kept saying Father Abbott.
Also, a mouse.
Correct, yes. Father Abbott kind of tells him to kind of settle down a little bit because there's a feast in Redwall that everyone's invited to for Father Abbott's anniversary, like 50th anniversary, something like that. And I think I told you earlier that I thought it was funny that Father Abbott was like, Matthias, you need to calm down and just focus on me. This is my day. Matthias.
All of the food is for me.
Yes. And so, yeah, Matthias goes out with the badger. What the badger's name is? Constance.
Yep.
And then they get the biggest fish they can find, which I always think is interesting that in worlds like this, fish usually aren't
anthropomorphized.
Thank you, yes. Words are dumb. And, it's okay to eat fish. Which is, I don't necessarily have any opinions on one way or the other, but it's just interesting that some things are given intellect and some things aren't.
Correct. Well, and very hierarchically as well, because the mammals are always the top of the food chain.
Yes.
But also from the intelligence chain. And then anytime you see reptiles, especially snakes, they're like sneaky and clever, but sort of like neutral in terms of throughout the Redwall canon. That they're usually not fighting for one side or the other. They're just kind of there. And that's why Redwall, the first book here, was very interesting, is because we also see things like horses.
Yes.
The horse does not talk.
Right.
Like it is a dumb brute. But that never shows up ever again in the Redwall universe. But they do eat fish.
Yes. So they catch this fish and they bring it in, and they have this big feast for Father Abbott.
And Brian Jacques coming in strong. Like, that's maybe what, page 5 is a 4-page description of the feast.
Right.
And this is very Redwall. Any book you read will have at least 2 feast descriptions, and it's full descriptions of all the different drinks and all the different dishes and all the and everything that everyone's talking about during the feast. It's kind of a lot when you first read it, because that's you just meet a couple characters, they go fishing, and then everybody eats.
But that's part of your world building, I suppose, and that was important to him.
It is, and it shows, obviously it shows, the camaraderie and the family nature.
Right, because then that's when we're going to meet a whole lot of the extra characters. So we meet Ambrose Spike there.
Yes.
He's the porcupine.
Hedgehog,
Yes.
Yep. And Ambrose Spike is very important because he is the cellar keeper. So he makes all of the beer and the liqueurs and all of that kind of stuff. So that hence our toast at the start of this that was in honor of Ambrose Spike.
We forgot to say we're drinking summer shandies.
Leinenkugels.
Not a sponsor.
Unless you want to be.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they would love to for this very niche podcast. A niche podcast within a niche podcast. And so yeah, we're drinking summer shandies because we couldn't get amber ales.
Yeah, because that's what they drink a lot is an amber ale. But I think Ambrose Spike would be very proud of a good summer shandy in the middle of summer.
I agree. I told you earlier, but summer shandies always remind me of your brother, because he has a refrigerator filled with just summer shandies, because you can only get these at certain times of the year.
And only in certain areas.
Yes,
too.
correct.
Yeah.
And so he has a refrigerator devoted just to summer shandies.
As any good Wisconsinite does.
Like he's bootlegging them, basically.
I can guarantee he is not the only person in Wisconsin who does that.
Right.
So yeah, we're at the feast.
Yes. And that's where we meet Ambrose Spike. And this is where we also meet Cornflower. And Cornflower,
yes.
is going to be the love interest to Matthias. And I was telling you earlier that I thought it was really funny that Brian Jacques, we're saying, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Jacques.
Okay.
I have mispronounced it for 25 years of my life. And then listening to the audiobook of this.
I want to talk about the audiobook later, but...
Okay, yeah. But listening to the audiobook is when I realized, because he narrates in the audiobook. And then at the very, very end of like the 10-hour audiobook, they introduce the cast and he says Brian Jacques. And I about fell over because I realized for one of my favorite fantasy series, I've been pronouncing the author wrong for a quarter of a century.
I've been saying brain this whole time. So yeah, we meet Cornflower. Anyway, I thought it was funny that the words that Brian used to describe Cornflower, because she's the most beautiful mouse. And so Brian describes her as having the softest fur and the whitest teeth. I was like, wow, you're really making this mouse attractive for Brian. The feast ends. Father Abbott tells Matthias to kind of escort Cornflower and her family back, because not everyone lives in Redwall.
Not inside the abbey, but they live usually in the area.
And so then that's where they meet Clooney the Scourge.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. And so yeah, I want to talk about the audiobook really quick, because there's 2 different versions I found out. There's it's like the full cast, which it sounds like you listened to.
Yes.
And I listened to just one guy do it. And he was pretty good, except for his Clooney the Scourge was Southern.
Like American Southern?
Yeah, like American Southern. And it was very distracting to be like, oh, I'm Clooney the Scourge. It was very odd.
That is
choice.
Extremely
because
odd.
All of his other voices were British.
Because
Because it takes place in
Brian Jacques is British.
Okay. It was very weird. to be like, cheese and whiskers. I'll say. I mean, it didn't go like full on that, but it was clearly Southern. It was his choice.
Yeah, that is odd.
Which is bad because Clooney the Scourge is such a good character. So this is where we meet Clooney the Scourge. The book is told through alternating chapters usually. We usually focus on Redwall, and then we usually focus on Clooney and his camp. And so, yeah, the first time we meet Clooney, he is telling Skullface, one of his lieutenants, to make the horse go faster. And all the lieutenants have really cool names, and they all have usually have really cool backstories, which is such a great thing that Brian does. He can really develop his characters in just a couple sentences, make them really interesting and unique.
Yeah, and even like the villains too, which again, in kids' books, often very black and very white,
right?
So that there's actually some depth there.
Lieutenants have cool names, like there's Cheese Thief later. I want to run a couple names by you if I was in the book, if I had a mouse name.
Rat name. These
if
are
I had
rats,
a rat name, yes.
Or stoats or weasels.
Correct, yes.
Yes, because Clooney is a rat.
So here are my rat names, all right? Are you ready?
No.
Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Okay, so Little Stinker.
Okay.
Off to a good start. Mousy McGee.
Ooh, I like that one.
Okay. A little bit of a flair.
Well, and it's got, alliteration is always nice.
Squeakquel. Just Squeakquel. I wrote these like
Squeakquel?
3 months ago. Squeakquel.
Did you have a first incarnation?
I don't know. So we're past on that.
Yeah.
Cheesy Chompers.
No, that's just too
I like
plain. But it's too plain. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Cheese Thief at least gives a little, like, what did he do?
But I'm gonna eat that cheese. Ooh, I'm gonna chomp that cheese. No? Okay. Nibbles Von Whiskers.
Yes.
Like that one? Okay.
Yep, that's a good one.
It's very hoity-toity, I would
yes.
say.
Yeah.
Crumbs the Mediocre. Because Clooney the Scourge, I think I was going for.
But mediocre?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you're making your own name and you went with mediocre?
I mean, that's very Peter. That's very on brand. This one would be my favorite. Tiny Tiptoes.
Tiny Tiptoes?
Tiny Tiptoes. I got a couple more. Ritz the Cracker Attacker. Why did I come up with these?
Well, and also, why did you... Are you assuming these are Ritz crackers with the cheese inside of them? Because remember,
sure.
you're still a rat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So just making sure cheese is worked in here somewhere.
And then Furry Fritters.
Furry fritters?
Furry Fritters.
Fritters.
Yes.
Okay.
No?
No.
Okay. And then my last one is Brie Boy.
Brie Boy.
That sounds like a rap name if I was like a rap rat.
A rat? Oh, it could be. Why not?
So those are my rat names.
Okay.
Because I loved his rat name so much, I wanted to add to it.
Yeah. Couple good ones. Couple...
Well, that's fine.
They can be workshopped.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we meet Skullface and we meet Clooney the Scourge, and the horse is going too slow. And again, we have horses in this universe.
In this particular book,
yes,
actually. Yeah. And the horse is pulling a cart.
Yes.
And the cart is filled with hay, and there is just... It's teeming with rats.
And Clooney the Scourge wants the horse to go faster. And so he sends Skullface to kind of nip at the horse. He does that, and because he's so scared of Clooney the Scourge, he nips at the horse. The horse goes faster, but also bucks Skullface, and he goes under one of the wheels, and his back is broken, and he's laying in the street just dying, and Clooney the Scourge laughs at him. And so it really sets the tone for the whole piece that this is kind of going to keep happening throughout the book. Kids' book.
Punches were not pulled
right.
on a lot of things. And Jacques doesn't get gruesome. Like, you don't get, like, bloody descriptions of battle or something. But bad things do happen. And sometimes bad things happen to good characters, too.
Right.
So, yeah, very early in the book, like, this is page, like, 15. You're reading and going, wow, we just enjoyed a feast, and then somebody broke their back.
Yes. So it seems like kind of like very whimsical charm, like Mouse Jug Band, like like Matthias in the back is going, hoo, 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 hoo. And they're all doing a little jig. And then, yeah, this death and destruction is happening. These two parties kind of intersect, and Matthias is alerted to Clooney. And so, yeah, he goes back right away and warns Redwall that Clooney the Scourge is coming. The elders kind of don't believe it because they don't want to believe it. And then Constance the badger pipes up, kind of scares all the mice into agreeing with what Matthias saw. Which, if you think about it too, how does Constance get in and out of the Abbey so easily? Does she have to duck into doorways?
Well, usually in any of the images, the Abbey, just like any human Abbey, it has 40-foot doors.
Oh, sure.
So usually it's designed like that, where there's these giant halls. And for a mouse, it's, oh my goodness. And for a badger, it's fine.
Well, that might be it. All right. But anyway, I did appreciate that there's not all this kind of back and forth. Brian Jacques usually kind of gets to the point right away because there's several battles in this book. It's not just one big battle at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's it's a siege.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there's action throughout the entire story, as opposed to just kind of what I was thinking would happen would just be one big battle at the end, which is kind of what you're used to, I feel. So yeah, Clooney the Scourge finally gets to Redwall, but he sees that everyone's on alert, because he was just kind of with his wagon going. He goes into Redwall to kind of negotiate terms of surrender. And the terms of surrender are basically, there are no terms. You either surrender now or you all die.
Well, and we get to hear Clooney in his chapters, and he talks about how he's gone all over he's been all over the countryside, and he's... Every place he's gone, they've capitulated to him immediately. And so he heard far and wide that he needs to go to Redwall Abbey. Look, the riches in that abbey. And so he just assumes he's going to show up, scare all these little mice, take over the abbey, and that was it.
Right.
These peace-loving mice answer the door and basically say, no, go away.
Right, exactly. So yeah, Father Abbot, who's usually reserved, shows anger and basically throws him right out. But before he throws him out, Clooney sees this big tapestry, and it's kind of the history of Redwall. And in the corner is Martin the Mouse.
Martin the Warrior.
Martin the Warrior, yes.
Yeah, he is a mouse. Yep. And he's holding his great sword aloft and his shield. And that is part of the mythology that later books actually go back in time to kind of learn about Martin the Warrior. And he was a very, very brave mouse that helped defend the area in great battles and then helped build the abbey.
And Martin the Mouse is kind of a chosen one, which I felt that, if you're going to have a chosen one mouse, you should have called him Jesus.
It was a kid's book, honey.
Right. Well, I mean, but it's Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe.
Yeah.
So, sprinkle that a little bit in here.
A little bit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Just real subtly.
Real
Sneak
subtly.
it in there.
Yeah. Clooney is, for the first time, he's kind of afraid because he has seen Martin the Mouse kind of chase him in his dreams.
Right. Before he ever came into Redwall, he didn't realize what was chasing him in his dreams until he looked up the tapestry and saw this fierce warrior holding his sword aloft and realized that was the warrior that's been chasing him.
Right. Clooney is escorted out. The siege kind of starts, basically.
So they need a place to live, obviously. So they go to the next place down the road, which is St. Ninian's Church, and easily take that over because it's only the caretakers are the Church Mouse family. So there's John Church Mouse and his wife and his 2 kids. It's pretty brutal because they take over the church, use it as a hideout during planning all of this siege on Redwall, and then they lock the Church Mouse family in a shed.
Including kids, yes.
Including the kids. They keep them prisoner in a shed, which is very dark. They're using it as a base of operations because, and especially now that Clooney knows that it's Martin the Warrior in his dreams, over the course of the book, you see him having worse and worse dreams, and he kind of takes that as this calling that he needs to conquer that.
Right.
It's like Martin is taunting him. He knows that clearly Martin the Warrior is very important to the Redwall Abbey. So he figures if he can send somebody in to steal the tapestry, and then everybody will be demoralized, easy peasy, he can just come right on in. Haha, you don't have your mouse rug, and
I'll mouse just rug?
That's basically what it is. It's a tapestry with a mouse on it.
So yeah, I think it was Shadow, the weasel, that steals the tapestry.
He's a black weasel, black fur all the way around.
Yes. So yeah, it's again the descriptions of just these minor characters are just so cool, and the names are so cool. Brian Jacques does a really good job of like explaining how he slinks around and he oils the hinges to get into the top of the abbey. He's the only one that can climb to the top. So yeah, he is able to steal the
section of the tapestry.
Yeah,
he
steal the
literally
section.
chews it apart and
Right.
chews Martin off the corner of the tapestry.
And then Methuselah, who is kind of Matthias's mentor, sees him, kind of raises the alarm, and Shadow dies as he's kind of plummeting off the wall. But his mission is accomplished. That he was able to steal this chunk of the tapestry.
Clooney does not care that
Right.
somebody died to get him the thing that he wanted.
But again, it also goes to one of my previous points about, there's going to be these like really minor, cool characters that are just going to die off right away. A lot of the lieutenants are really cool, and they end up just getting thrown into the grinder.
Spoiler alert.
Well, but Abby, that's what this whole thing is.
Not spoiling, adding to the discourse around.
Oh, sure, yes. Matthias kind of tries to rally everybody. He was kind of mad that everyone was asleep on watch and no one was able to see Shadow. And so, yeah, he kind of scolds everybody, but then tries to kind of rally everybody around. And then...
Which, again, remember, this kid is like 12.
Right.
And there are lots of people who have been around for a very long time, and he's the one like taking charge, and everybody's like, okay, that seems fine.
Right. Yeah, even Father Abbott is just like, yep, let this kid run the show. It's fine. So he's able to give this kind of like rousing speech and kind of get things back in line. But then he kind of goes back to his room and starts to cry because he's a little overwhelmed. But then who sees him is Cornflower. And there's a passage I wrote down that I liked. Do you want to read it? Because I don't have a good Cornflower. My Cornflower voice would be like, Matthias, don't be ashamed.
Again, why is she Southern? Where are all the Southern characters
It's
coming from?
Cornflower. Oh, say it's right at the top.
Matthias, don't be ashamed. I know why you cry and grieve. It is because you are a kind and good, not a hard-hearted, pitiless rat like Clooney. Please listen to me. Even the strongest and bravest must sometimes weep. It shows they are a great heart, one that can feel compassion for others. You are brave, Matthias. Already, you have done great things for one so young. I am only a simple country-bred field mouse.
I'm only a simple country. See, it could be Southern. I'm sorry, keep going.
But even I can see the courage and leadership in you. A burning brand shows the way, and each day your flame grows brighter. There is none like you, Matthias. You have the sign of greatness upon you. One day, Redwall and all the land will be indebted to you, Matthias. You are a true warrior.
Right, so yeah, I like that passage because, again, it shows that the hero, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. But
It is a very nuanced and complex understanding of what is often a very flat character.
Yes.
Especially in children's stories.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, Jacques is literally telling you to be a hero isn't just
Bravado.
And it's just, bravery. It doesn't mean you don't care about anything, which is wild in 1986 for a kid's book.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool. And like I said earlier, I think that's one reason I really appreciated Brian Jacques is he wrote as though he respected the children that was reading it.
Yeah, sure. I could see that.
And that he does. He's not sugarcoating it. He's saying, no, this is the real world. These are real things. If you're going to be a warrior, warriors sometimes cry, but that's okay.
Right.
And that's amazing.
I feel that it's kind of a lesson that isn't really carried throughout the entire book, though. I guess we can maybe get into it later. Or right now, because...
It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
No, but because Matthias is like, hey, Cornflower, that was pretty great, thanks. And then he immediately leaves to try and get the tapestry back from Clooney the Scourge. Go to his camp, try sneak in, steal it. And kind of forgoing the lessons of like, hey, it's okay that this happened. Let's just take a breath. He kind of lets his bravado then get the best of him.
Well, he's still a 12-year-old boy.
Right. So Matthias sneaks out to try and get the tapestry back. That's where we meet Basil Staghair.
And I've read all the Redwall books. One of the best characters Jacques has ever written. He is a hare, obviously. He's a March hare. And we learn bits and pieces about him kind of as we go, that he is a seasoned warrior.
Yes.
But his sense of humor is hilarious.
Because he wanted to be a stag.
Because he wanted to be a stag, like a deer. And so he renamed himself, because why not? There's some great fight scenes later where he like literally just pops up and around the field leading the enemies on a merry chase.
Right. And is it because he's magical, or is it because
he's
just that good?
No. There's no magic. Like,
well, there is a little bit because of these dreams and...
Correct. But there's no like magic, like Harry Potter kind of magic.
Sure.
That doesn't exist. No, he's just... Hares, especially in the Redwall universe, are always brave and clever, but kind of eccentric. Usually when you meet a hare, they are very clever and smart and very funny. You will laugh out loud at some of the things he says.
So Basil kind of teaches Matthias in this part to kind of do like a barrel roll.
Yes, it's very unconventional, like fighting and sneaking. He teaches him how to sneak. And there's a lot of what's?
Yes. But it also seemed kind of like a video game, almost like use the action button at this time to evade the guards. And so, yeah, there was almost like a training montage in this book. And so, yeah, Matthias is kind of training with Basil. And then, of course, he's just instantly good at it now because Matthias. He doesn't end up getting the tapestry because basically all that's there at this camp is just a couple guards because most of the army has been storming on Redwall. And he just missed them.
Yeah, they like passed each other in the woods, basically.
Right. And so, yeah, this is one of Matthias's blunders, but as we're going to find out, it doesn't really matter. It all kind of works out anyway. But it's a kid's book.
Well, so it's good, too, because, you know, he has to find somebody like Basil Steakhair, too. Well, and also that's when they rescue the Church Mouse family.
Yes.
And learn more about Clooney and his horde, because the Church Mouse family has been locked in this shed, listening and watching them this entire time. So they rescue them at that point, too. And we see those kids in later books.
Oh, okay. And so then it goes to Clooney's first attack on Redwall. Clooney has some of his guys firing arrows.
Rocks.
Okay.
Yep. Rocks up from the ditch.
Oh, right, because rats are very bad at fletching arrows. The mice are raining down arrows onto the rats. Both sides are taking damage. In the meantime, Clooney the Scourge, his big idea is to climb a tree with a whole bunch of people.
Yep, his rats.
And his weasels.
He wishes he brought more weasels.
Oh, yes.
Because they're better at climbing. But he's got a bunch of these lumbering rats up in the tree with a giant plank from St. Ninian's door. Because his brilliant idea is, we'll get out onto a branch and then tip the plank over and then just walk across.
Which is a great plan.
And also, don't forget, all the Redwallers are up on the ramparts defending, so they're gonna see this.
Yes. But it's Methuselah who sees them climbing up the tree and kind of sees what's coming. And basically almost all of Clooney's plans they see coming from a mile away.
Well, and what's always kind of fun is they use different like animal features to help. So like later they will try to dig, and Formal and his crew can hear them.
Oh, yes.
It's not always the same animals, and it's not always the same way. So they use kind of their own special, senses and gifts.
So yeah, Constance is coordinating the attack. And then as soon as enough rats are walking across this plank, she kind of just like power bombs it. And everyone goes falling, including Clooney. Clooney was out of his armor. And he had who? Well,
Redtooth.
Redtooth
was wearing his armor off in the field to try and like act as a decoy.
Yes. And so yeah, Clooney is injured, and all the other rats are dead around him. So they retreat, and Matthias comes back, and there's really no repercussion for him leaving, and there's really no kind of like sadness for all these mice that gave their lives, because it's kind of more about Methuselah has potentially found where the sword and shield of Martin are. And I thought that was a little weird. Maybe it goes against the tone that we don't really mourn these kind of nameless people that gave their lives. And it's more about Matthias and his journey.
Well,
which I understand.
classic hero's journey.
Yes, but also...
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we just got a whole speech by Cornflower about how, it's about compassion, and warriors aren't just about being warriors. They're all about having heart and all that stuff. And then, well, people die.
Right. The recovery period is all about Methuselah and Matthias kind of scheming to try and get the sword and shield.
Methuselah has found behind the tapestry, there is a poem.
Right.
The poem was etched into the stones way back, many, many years, generations before when Redwall was built.
Right. The riddle or the poem is, it's rather long, but the key line is, I am that is. And so Methuselah kind of deciphers it. He rearranges the letters, realizes that it's I, Matthias. And Matthias is basically the reincarnation of Martin.
Correct, yes.
I kind of started to fall out of love with the book at this part.
Really? Because to me, this was like, oh, and this is the hero's journey. And
yeah.
I could do an entire English class on this book because it so perfectly follows that. But
then it goes into Chosen One, and which I never think is really interesting because from there...
You love Star Wars.
Exactly. But that's all pew pew pew, and it's
but it's the hero's journey.
I understand.
And Chosen One, and
I understand.
Okay, I don't understand how this is different, I guess.
Because before it was Matthias, and he's working a little bit harder, and he's training with Matthias, and he's getting a little bit better. But now it's just it's basically I've unlocked this cheat code, and I am Martin, the warrior, and I'm the reincarnation of him. No, so I don't really have to work that hard anymore.
He's not necessarily the reincarnation. He is in the mold of. It's not like he has Martin's spirit inside of him. He is just Redwall Abbey needs a warrior only in times when a warrior is needed. And clearly a warrior is needed, and the next one to be chosen is Matthias.
Well, that's not how I took it, because a big plot point is that he's an orphan, and we don't know who his parents are. And so it's basically kind of like this kid just came up from nowhere because he is a reincarnation of Matthias. And of
Martin.
I'm sorry, yes, yeah. Martin.
Okay. No, I never took it as him, like, being a reincarnation. I've always taken it as, because it's a Redwall Abbey, they don't have like a standing army, and you don't need to be a warrior in the times of peace. So when a warrior is needed, the next warrior, Redwall Abbey itself kind of chooses, feels, knows what the next, in that sense, kind of a magical, fantastical, if you will. But he has the same type of spirit as Martin, but not is Martin.
I took it more literal, obviously. And I don't know who's to say. So anyway, we keep deciphering riddles. This is always a part in kids' books or just in books in general that I don't like, where the book solves the riddle for you. You're not given all the information to solve the riddle. Because in order to like dig under and find Martin's shield, they understand that on this big stairway, going up it says Redwall, and going down it says Redwall on these 7 steps. You're not given any of that information, but they're like, oh, the W's match on both staircases, and W upside down is M for Martin. So it must be that step. I was like, well, okay.
Hold on there, sunshine.
First of all, you made a couple logical leaps, but also second, you'd never describe the staircase ever. So I always hate that in kids' books. When it's like, oh, well, it couldn't have been him because everyone knows that Wednesday is chocolate milk day. And it's like, well, no, I don't know that because you didn't tell me that.
Until right now.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, moles.
But to be fair, like, I totally understand what you're talking about. But we're like watching them as they're discovering it. So it's kind of like following them around.
Right.
In a very, like, I'm not going to figure this out, but I'm just going to kind of see what's going on. Like, we're just like following them like a lost puppy. Yes, I completely understand if that is the goal, but I think he's just more like, let's just follow them and see what's happening.
So yeah, they dig out this special stair. They find the shield. They go up to the roof, and there's this big divot, and Constance helps them.
Oh, they go
way.
up to the ramparts.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. And they realize that they have to put the shield down during a full moon, and it's going to point to where Martin's sword is, because both Methuselah and Matthias think that if they have the shield and the sword of Martin, it will rally everybody, and they'll be able to win the war. Mm-hmm. Back at Clooney's camp, Clooney is recovering, and he gets some foxes to help him out. Mm-hmm. And these foxes are potentially going to double cross him. They want to kind of sell information.
But they're healers. Mm-hmm. Selah is a healer first. Yes. So that's why she's kind of brought into the camp, right, is to help him. And of course, that gets her close to him, mm-hmm, and, can hear all the things going on and pay attention to all the stuff going on. And her son, Chicken Hound, is like a young kid. So he runs around and he gets to hear everything's going on. Mm-hmm. And, sneak into places that no one sees him.
Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Selah tells Chicken Hound to basically go to Redwall, because while Clooney was asleep, she saw his plans and wants to basically kind of sell them to Redwall. But unbeknownst to her, Clooney was faking being asleep and wrote fake plans. So he's going to know if Selah double crosses him or not. Chicken Hound is the kid, right?
Yeah.
And Chicken Hound talks to Constance about, hey, I have we're going to have these plans. Bring Father Abbott to this place. And Constance is like, okay, sounds good. So yeah, they meet up. Just Constance shows up. Chicken Hound meets up with Constance. And Chicken Hound is like, well, why didn't you bring the Father Abbott? And Constance says, oh no, you have to deal with me. And so Chicken Hound has part of Clooney's plan, which is that he's going to use a battering ram. Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to everybody that he has two plans, basically, and this is kind of like a dummy plan, more or less. So Constance basically just pile drives him, steals that plan, and just hightails it back, which is kind of funny, because Constance is kind of just an MVP and just kind of is going to do whatever she wants.
Well, yeah, she's mm-hmm. Badger, and right, that's kind of what they
Go
do.
Badgers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On her way back, Selah is being escorted by two lieutenants, because Clooney wants her to kind of give out information, but also doesn't want her to leave his sights. So she has these two guards, and one of them is attacked by Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
And so yeah, we meet the snake earlier on, but that's all the snake says.
Yes, he says his own name, mm-hmm. and he always is lurking. Mm-hmm. And he's actually killed a couple characters at this mm-hmm. point. But nobody knows that.
Right.
People just disappear.
Mm-hmm. Selah is kind of trying to evade these guards, and then one of the guards is killed by the snake. And so I thought it was really funny. Like, Selah goes as one guard and like, hey, we got to go back to Clooney. Before we do that, let's get our story straight about what happened out here. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or not, but I thought that was like kind of a really funny part. Mm-hmm. Selah goes back to Clooney, tries to kind of explain the story. Clooney knows that he was definitely double-crossed, and he ends up killing both Selah and Chicken Hound, or who he thinks he ends up killing Chicken Hound, but in a very gruesome way, like their bodies are just left in a muddy ditch.
Right.
Meanwhile, back at the Abbey, they put the shield in the right spot, and the moon is coming down, and the moon reflects off the shield, and it goes onto the weather vane on the Abbey, and that's where they think the sword is. And so they send up one of their best climbers, which is Jess
Squirrel, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also Fierce Warrior.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She was introduced earlier, but we kind of... There's just
a
too
lot
many
of characters.
Yeah. There's like a little baby squirrel that's always sucking its thumb.
Yes, that's Jess's son.
Mm-hmm. I had like a very like Disney thought about how that character looked with like the big like Bambi eyes.
That's very accurate. Sam is
Oh,
his
Sam,
name.
yes.
Yep. He's always sucking on his paw, and he doesn't say anything.
Right.
And it's cute in the book because his parents are like, it's fine, he'll talk when he wants to.
Yes.
And he's never said a word as far as anybody knows, and he should have at this point. But he's like one of those silent characters that like walks around and sees everything and understands what's going on, and then just like does the right thing at exactly the right time.
Right.
So he pops up every once in a while doing the right thing, like tripping the one rat, or something like that.
So yeah, Jess goes up, goes through the weather vane, doesn't see the sword.
Sees where it should fit.
Sees where it should fit, yes. But then she's immediately attacked by sparrows.
Yes.
And then she has to scurry on down. They end up catching one of them. Her name is Warbeak.
Warbeak, yes. Because she got a arrow stuck in her leg.
Yes.
So she got injured in the little mini battle. This is where it's kind of funny on how big the Abbey is, because they're all very surprised, like, oh, there's this warrior band that lives in our attic. I knew when we had birds in our attic.
Eventually, yes.
Because it's an entire band. It's a tribe of sparrows. They're called the sparrows. And
yeah, they speak in a weird, I shouldn't say weird, but they speak in a dialect.
Yes, a very specific dialect where there's a very distinct lack of a and the and other articles like that. And they'll speak in first person like, Warbeak angry, Warbeak think big fight, lots of worms. And then everything on the ground is called a worm.
Yes.
So Matthias helps to like bandage her.
Yes. And then so basically through interrogation, find out that King Sparrow has the sword. What ends up happening is Matthias ends up tying himself to this bird and they climb up.
Tying a brick to her.
Yes.
Because he goes, okay, well, we've got to go get the sword. And Warbeak, you're going to show me where this sword is. She's injured. And of course, they're mice. They don't trust flying things. So the only way to get to that roof, to the attic area of the roof where the sparrows are nesting, is to climb the inside of the abbey.
Yes, so they end up doing that. And through this process, they end up becoming friends. I respect you. It felt like very like heat.
No,
moment.
Hang on. You're glossing over a very important part, because they only become friends after she sasses him halfway up. And he shoves her off the rafter with a brick tied to her leg. And she goes, okay, Warbeak going to be good. Warbeak be fine. And then he hauls her back up. And then they became friends.
Well, it also kind of counters, again, one of those things that counters between Cornflower being like, oh, you have such a gentle soul, Matthias, that's why you cry. That's why you're a good leader. Bam! I shove you. That's why I'm a good leader.
Exactly. You will listen to me, or I'm going to let you plummet to your death.
But it kind of reminded me of like Heat, where it's like, oh, we're from two different sides, but I respect you too much. But anyway, so Matthias ends up going into the sparrow nest. He instantly knows like the sparrow language, which again, I know with Chosen Ones, like you're just instantly good at everything, which I don't necessarily like. It's a kid's book, so you kind of have to speed through things, but like we're trying to right now. But find out that the King Sparrow is a really bad leader, and he lost the sword.
But that's not widely known.
Right.
Because they all think he has this sword and he is powerful.
And he has a scabbard, the sheath.
Yep. So he lets people think he still has it. So every once in a while, he'll show the scabbard. He's a very bad king. He's a sham king. The next in line for the throne would be Warbeak.
Yes.
Which we learn through all of this.
Right?
Yeah. Because her mom is related.
Yes.
She's royalty. We kind of learn through this.
Right.
And
so good thing you pushed her.
Yes, exactly. He's able to rescue the scabbard. But in escaping, he gets all tangled up with the king, and they go plummeting off the side of Redwall Abbey, and the king dies.
Yes.
King Sparrow dies.
But I think meanwhile, we got to go check in on Clooney, because Clooney attacks again, and he's using the battering ram, which is kind of like the fake attack. But then he starts to dig underneath too. But again, Matthias is nowhere near this.
Oh yeah, he's up in the attic this whole time.
Putting away Christmas decorations. The moles who were digging up that step before, they hear them coming. Once one rat pops up, they pour a whole bunch of like boiling oil into this hole. kill a bunch of them instantly. So again, Clooney fails yet again.
But also extremely medieval and cruel.
Yes.
I mean, you get it. Obviously, they're defending their home. But also, if you like take a step back and think about like, wow, this is a kid's book. And I just read a passage of them gleefully pouring boiling oil down a hole onto... I mean, there was a ton of animals in that hole. And they're like, yep, now they're dead.
Yep. And I think there was another part where they keep using the battering ram, but then they try to use these...
like siege towers.
Yeah, siege towers. Yes, that's what it was. And Cornflower, we check in on her every once in a while, and she basically just focusing on healing the wounded.
Making sure everybody's got food.
Making sure everyone's got food,
Yeah,
yes.
she's making sure that she's
Especially,
doing all the like the real important basic stuff that needs to run an army.
And Basil Staghair has to keep eating. And kind of hitting on Cornflower a little bit too. Kind of weird, but whatever. And then she sees someone in the siege tower and she ends up pouring soup on him.
Hot soup. She gets so surprised she dumps hot soup right in his face and he goes he goes falling off the siege tower.
Right. So again, this is another plan foiled. And then Clooney starts to get kind of crazier and more desperate because he knows he can't retreat fully because then he'll lose all of his power.
Right. Well, and crazy because the nightmares with Martin the Warrior are getting worse. The more he doubles down on attacking Redwall, the worse the nightmares are. The crazier he gets, the more he doubles down. And it's just this huge, like, cycle. And all of his lieutenants are very concerned about him.
Matthias gets saved from the fall.
Yeah, we're going back to, we're back in Redwall.
Yeah, we're back in Redwall. Sorry.
Yep, and Matthias and King Sparrow have fallen off the very top of the abbey.
Right, and so Matthias is all healed up. He sneaks out again, even though the abbey has been attacked several times now. He's like, hey, I'm going to sneak out again. I got to get this sword. That's all that matters. And then he runs into like a...
The shrews.
The shrews, yes. The shrews.
Oh, we meet the shrews. And we'll meet, throughout the Redwall canon, you'll meet the shrews. They're always very loud and quarrelsome.
Yes.
These are the Guosim shrews, the guerrilla unit.
Yes,
of,
like resistance
of
fighters,
something
almost,
Mossflower, which is the woods. Yeah.
And they can't really decide on anything really ever. And then Matthias kind of like shames them into kind of following him. Which, again, I felt kind of went against, you have such a gentle spirit, Matthias. When really all you're doing is you're kind of bullying people into doing what you want. But whatever. Oh, he goes to his barn because he thinks that's where Asmodeus is. Meets his tomcat.
It's this ginger cat that lives in the house, and there's an owl in the barn. So it's Captain Snow, and Basil Staghair actually knew Captain Snow at one point, and received a medal from Captain Snow. But the owl and the cat used to be friends.
But now they're not.
They are not friends.
Right.
And Matthias, when he talks to Captain Snow, the owl really wants to eat him. And the reason why the owl and the cat are not friends anymore is the cat is a vegetarian and thinks it's disgusting that his friend eats shrews and mice. So when a mouse shows up with a band of shrews, the owl thinks he's having the best day of his life.
But so Matthias shows the owl Basil Staghair's medal and so doesn't attack. And
immediately.
Right. And so basically Matthias makes a wager with him that, hey, if he's able to kill the snake, which has the sword, you have to not eat shrews anymore. And you also have to be nice to this cat, which was a really funny add-on. But if they all die, he gets to keep the medal, the owl.
Correct, yep.
And so they're able to pass through. They see the den of the snake. And it was kind of very Scooby-Doo, where they're looking for, it's during the day, where they know the snake isn't going to attack. And so they're kind of feeling around, trying to find the opening to the lair. And then it's like Matthias kind of like gets frustrated, and he kind of leans on it, and he's like, whoa! And he kind of falls through. And so they're able to find the lair. They sneak in, and Matthias is able to get the sword. It's a very cool scene because the shrew soldiers are kind of picked off one by one.
It's a very labyrinthine den, and they can hear Asmodeus sleeping in the den because all of the walls echo with him as he sleeps. He goes, Asmodeus, in his sleep, and the entire thing is echoing that. So
and it's such a cool detail.
He does a really good job of putting you in there, and you can feel like you're creeping around this wet labyrinth with this giant somewhere. And you don't know the next time you're going to turn the corner and see this giant, but you have to because you got to find the sword.
And Matthias doesn't really have a plan, it seems. Like, he's just kind of like sneaking in.
Has he ever had a plan?
So all these other shrews are kind of just picked off one by one. Basically, Matthias gets the sword, and he is able to kind of round a corner, kind of go through a hole, and as Asmodeus pops its head out, Matthias just chops him real good.
With Martin's sword.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's doing the whole, like, trying to steal jewels from a dragon kind of thing, where he's trying to steal the sword without waking up Asmodeus. Of course, Asmodeus is going to wake up. And of course, he has to show he's a warrior and murder him in his bed.
Yes.
But don't think about that part.
Matthias finally has a sword. I think it was at this part where Matthias is like, oh, wait a minute. I don't really feel like different with the sword. I guess it was just, I didn't really need this sword. It was just more like, it's more just a symbol than anything. And I was like, yes, Matthias. It's just a sword. This whole thing was just kind of superfluous. Which again, it's all the hero's journey and all that, obviously.
Correct. And realizing like, oh, the bravery, I was brave the entire time without the sword.
The sword was the friends we made along the way. Because
yep, and all the friends we killed along the way on accident too.
Because like he's able to befriend the shrews and the sparrows and Basil Staghair and this owl and this cat.
And that's necessary because
for victory.
Now, because when we go back to Redwall, now we have Logalog and his entire Goosum shrew army. We've got all the sparrows led by Queen Warbeak. Who has ascended the throne, and she is a much better and just ruler than the king. We needed all of those characters to be able to finally defeat Clooney. And to be fair, they want to see Redwall win too. The sparrows live in the attic. I don't think they're going to be really thrilled if Clooney takes over the abbey.
Right. He probably has his own Christmas decorations to put up there.
Right, exactly. Clooney doesn't seem like the type that'll take care of the tuck pointing that needs to happen in the abbey to keep it from crumbling.
That was this old house joke for your dad in case he listens.
Deep cuts.
So anyway, we're kind of wrapping up, but Clooney is able to get in because he basically gets some hostages, makes the dad of the family sneak in and open up the gates. And so, the gates are wide open. Clooney and his army, the remains of his army, are able to get in. It seems, kind of like the end for all of our furry friends. But then, of course, this is, when Martin comes with the sword.
Matthias.
Yeah. Oh.
Freudian slip there.
Or was it? Did I make a mistake or did I not? Because now he is Martin, basically. I mean, not really, but
yeah. Symbolism.
Right.
So there's this big fight scene going on inside the abbey, up on the ramparts, all that kind of stuff, and Clooney manages to fatally wound Father Abbot. He doesn't die immediately, and he's kind of like whisked off, and Matthias is obviously very angry about this because this was the man who took him in and gave him a house and food and a giant feast and all that kind of stuff. And to kill Clooney, he winds up cutting the cord for the giant St. Joseph spell. Which
has been tolling this whole time.
Yep. And it's the symbol of Redwall. It's what calls people to Redwall. So symbolically, it's important that this kills Clooney. And when it kills Clooney, it cracks in half. So it becomes two pieces. Clooney is dead. What's important about that is from here on out, Redwall Abbey has 2 bells, and they're called Matthias and Methuselah.
Right, because Methuselah was killed by Chicken Hound.
Right.
Forgot to mention that part, but whoops. It's not important. Well, it's not important that his mentor dies.
It's a hero's journey, and you knew the mentor had to die.
But yeah, Chicken Hound wasn't killed by Clooney. He tried to sell out Clooney. I think that's how they find out that they're going to dig. And then so Chicken Hound is welcomed into the Abbey. but it's all a ruse because all he wants is money, and so Chickenhound steals a whole bunch of stuff. He ends up killing Methuselah on the way out, but he's killed by Asmodeus in the forest later on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, a little bit of backtracking. Sorry about that. So the day is won, but Father Abbott is dying.
Yep.
And it's basically his last will and testament. And so yeah, he's kind of saying goodbye to his friends like Constance, who he's known for forever. And he says, "Hey, Matthias, you can't be a father of Redwall." And everyone like kind of looks around in horror. And is like, "Oh, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
What? Well, why?" And so Father Abbott says, "It's because you're going to be a knight of Redwall now."
Mm-hmm. You are the Redwall warrior.
Mm-hmm. Which I totally understand, because again, it's about the hero's journey. It's a kid's book and all that. But it really seems like, hey, you know who my MVP of this whole battle was? Got to give it to Matthias, not to Constance, who was constantly like kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah.
Or not Cornflower, who
ran an army.
Yeah, basically. And also like prevented the siege, the siege towers. Got to give it to Matthias, who wasn't here for most of it. Which again, it's a kid's book, so you can't be too angry at it.
Right, exactly.
Still, I thought it was kind of funny.
I thought you were going to say like, oh, why didn't he become Father Abbott? And I was like, well, because there's a skills mismatch.
Yes, that's true too. So yeah, he kind of says this to Matthias, and he says, "Hey, Cornflower, know what your job is? You're going to be his wife." Which I thought was, again, it's a kid's book, so. Again, hero's journey and all that, but still, it's like kind of like, because I think she's a better character than just that. But
yeah, we don't see enough of her, in my opinion, because I think she's kind of a fun character. And then the next book, chronologically, the next book, follows their child.
Yes.
So we get to see Matthias and Cornflower even more.
And then so yeah, Father Abbott dies, but all is well, and the day is saved. And then there's like an ending letter about, hey, come on down to Old Redwall, or there. No, because it ends on a letter, right? Do you remember this part?
Well, I don't remember it being a cheesy commercial.
Everything is half off. No, it wasn't like that. It was just like.
And again, we're back in the South somehow.
I don't know. South is my default voice, I guess.
So it ends with the Annals of Redwall by John Churchmouse. And he was the one who took over as the recorder.
Oh, sure. Because Methuselah.
Methuselah, yeah, exactly. And he used to keep all of the records and knew where to find all the information on all the years and the spring of the, rose and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you're thinking of the letter, is he ends on, it's basically John Churchmouse is reflecting on what happened.
And so a year has passed, and
Sam
can finally talk.
And so they named it the Summer of the Talking Squirrel.
Yes. Matthias and Cornflower have a kid. Constance is still fishing at the old fishing hole and just kind of checking on all of our friends, and Ambrose Spike is hanging out.
It does a classic and everybody's fine, and like Basil Staghair went off to go visit Captain Snow and Gingerveer on their farm, and that kind of thing. So it kind of reflects on everything is fine.
But I still I loved it. I thought it was such a great ending. It was just kind of like a homespun. I was kind of making fun of it, but it was kind of like a homespun Critter Christmas. I can't think of a better word for it, but it's kind of homey and
it's warm.
Kind of how warm. Thank you. And it's kind of how the book started. And maybe it was corny, but it kind of built character as well.
Right. I mean, it's a classic good versus evil. The good will win. But that doesn't mean there isn't struggle in the meantime. But it is definitely a very warm fantasy world that's populated with a lot of very, very real characters. You feel like Constance by the end of this,
right.
and who she is and what she's going to say. And I think that's pretty unique in kids' books, because he took the time to really flesh it out and create this whole world. It's world building at its best, and it's just this warm fantasy world that you want to just keep going back into because you want to live with those characters.
Definitely. And yeah, they generally feel alive, and they generally feel like family.
Even though they're mice and squirrels.
I would pop into little Redwall. I'd probably fit, right?
Oh, you would. Yeah. I think most people think Redwall is like 14 feet tall.
Okay.
So like a 1-story house. So our house.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But is it all one floor or is it all...
Oh gosh, no. Remember, there's an attic.
But is it just attic and then nothing else?
No, there's stairs. So there's the whole, there's
there,
the cellar.
yeah,
Exactly. And then there's different,
stairs, yes.
And then they go, I think they go up to the infirmary.
Or is it just like dollhouse rules where I can just kind of like peep in on like the backside and like I can just see all the different layers?
No, you're just getting creepy.
What? Why?
Peep in?
Well,
you actually said peep in.
I don't know. See, I have little mice adventures. So yeah, overall, I'm not really a fantasy reader, but overall, I really like this.
Good.
I had a couple, not problems with it, but things I didn't like as much. I thought as the book went on, I thought Matthias was less interesting of a character because he was that chosen one. And it kind of isn't really fun when the main character is the least interesting out of everybody. Because obviously you're spending the most time with them. But overall, I really liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked it.
Well, that's good. I'm a very bad judge because, I picked these up, like I said, like 25 years ago. I started reading these and I read through them voraciously. Probably a big reason why I'm a fantasy reader, because this is very good fantasy. If you've never read a fantasy book or you're not familiar with reading it, I think it is a good place to get started. Just because I think it's well done fantasy, good character building, good world building, and it works for kids. It works for adults who aren't really big fantasy readers. So it's good.
So yeah, I would definitely keep going.
Excellent.
And that is excellent because we got 20 more of these to do.
Yep.
So the next one we read will be Mossflower. So we're going to go in release order. And
we can have a whole conversation about which order you choose. But apparently we've chosen release order.
So yeah, that'll be fun when we get to it. Yes.
Mossflower's next.
Yes.
It's where really the whole Martin thing begins. Because that's when we meet him for the first time.
Right. So yeah, we'll be dropping these sporadically when we have time for it. Which this took about 6 months to record.
At least, yep.
So based on that, it'll be in
decade?
2 weeks. No.
We'll finish it all in a decade.
Well, we'll get to it. It'll be fun. It'll be great. I believe in us.
Me too.
And also, it seems not a crazy amount to get through. 21 books. We can do it.
Yeah.
Your face didn't match your words.
She said confidently.
Well, I guess that will do it for Redwall. Well read.
It was well read.
Yes, and it's a good title. If nothing else, it was a good title.
And great cover art.
Yes. Thank you, Emma. So I think that's about it. My name's Peter, I'm a librarian.
My name's Abby. I am also a librarian.
I don't know how to sign this off, so I asked ChatGPT to come up with some sign-offs. All right, so I'm going to run and by you really quick, and then we'll go from there. Time to mousey on out of here.
Yeah, but you're not doing it in the classic American Southern accent that Redwall is known for.
Clearly. I'm really tired. Like a cheese wheel, I guess. So I'll squeak to you later.
Okay. See, this is why I use Claude.
Don't be a stranger, but let's not let our friendship go down the mouse hole. That doesn't even make sense.
What?
Cheese been real. I've got to scurry off.
Okay, I like that one.
We've
got to scurry off, of course. So how do we not think of that?
Go.
All right, there we go.
That was worth burning down a tree for. All right, well, we got to scurry off. We'll see you next time. Do we say bye?
Bye.
Oh, thanks.